Good evening, Hyperspinners. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up the Retropie, so get ready. All right, I've Jimmy rigged a contraption here to basically have you guys enjoy my setup here. So here we go. What we've got here is a superpi case from Retroflag. You can get an SNES version or the Super Famicom version. You know, there's a ton of videos out. I'm just gonna do my due diligence and have one myself here. So I've got a Retroflag super case there. I've also got a cooling setup here, which it looks like it's from geeekpi, and I'll include the links in the description below. But basically this is just for cooling. And we got the Retropie, the 3B Plus. Then we've got an SD card. I chose a 200 gigabyte. It was, Black, Friday, a couple weeks ago. And we've got an HDMI cable, and then we've got a 2.5 power adapter. So that's all you need for setting up a Retropie and get things set up. So this is a little different than your normal tutorial for Hyperspin, though it has a lot to do with it. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this superpi case here. All right, and there we have it. So this thing is literally the, fits in the palm of your hand. It's really nice and clean. It reminds me a lot like the SNES Classic. And yeah, it looks like this thing's functional, which is kind of cool. It kind of holds your SD cards here if you have multiples there. And let's go ahead and get this thing started here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up this other stuff here. So we got the cooling fans here. Got the Raspberry Pi. There she is. And we've got the power adapter here. So this thing was, again, another Black Friday deal. I think I got it at Fry's. It was maybe a dollar or something. It was quite a steal. All right, and let's go ahead and open this guy up. So it literally just opened right up for me, guys. So this is what it looks like on the inside. We've got, it looks like some heat sinks maybe, or no, these are little grippies for your device itself, just so it grips the ground. And then this is the inside here. So we're just gonna be hooking up a couple things. Mind you guys, I've never done this before, so I'm literally just going by what I've seen on other videos. And yeah, so what we're going to be doing here is adding the Retropie 3B Plus to this, and I'm actually going to pause this video so I can get situated here. So one moment. All right, so next what we're going to be doing is installing the heatsink on the 3B Plus. So when I opened up the fan package, it came with the fan. Came with a couple of these heat sinks, and then a thick sticky pad as well as a thin. We're going to be using the thin just so it's got better connectivity. And what we're going to be doing is placing this little guy here on the back on this black pad here. And what I'm going to be doing is peeling this little blue piece off here. So I'm going to step away from the camera real fast and do that, and we are getting the blue piece off, and we're just going to stick that on the back we're going to do the same thing to the front. There's a pad that we're going to be adding a heatsink to, and here we go. So I got the sticky pad off. We're just going to stick that right on top of that guy here. Alright, now that I got the blue pad off, I'm going to stick that right on the Retropie, or the Raspberry Pi there. So you see, there you go. We're going to be doing the same thing to this little black as well. So this has a little fin for the heatsink. We're going to take that blue sticker off, just like what I had just done. And it's a little hard to get off, and you just got to be careful. At first I took off the entire sticker, but it's okay, it just sticks right back on. Alright, so I'm taking off the blue sticky pad off, and then I'm just going to set this right on top of the Raspberry Pi. Okay, I've just put that right on top of the black pad there, and now we're just gonna install the fan, and we are almost done. So from the instructions here, what we're gonna do is just set this 3D Plus in the case here. You can see there's a couple slots there, and that's where we're gonna be sliding this in there, so it fits right in there. Get that little sticky stuff out of there. And what we're going to do is plug in the USBs here. So now everything is safe and secure, and now we're going to be plugging this in. Notice here we've got a couple, I don't know if you can see it, but the red wires going on the outside of the pins here. We're just going to be setting it right up against these. So it's all the way on the far right hand side. We're going to press that down, so that's all connected there. And just double checking, yep, everything's secured there. And next what we're going to be doing is installing the fan here. So you will notice that there is a fan plug here. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a positive and a negative. Let's see if I can zoom in there. There you go. There's a positive and negative. You just want to make sure that the black wire is touching the negative side when we're doing this. So what we're going to be doing is taking this guy here, and we are going to be placing it right on top of the silver there. So it's just going to sit right there. And what we're going to need to do is move the fan out. We're just going to unscrew these 4 screws and then move them out so we can close the case here. And it's not going to take a whole lot, and what we're going to be doing is taking the flat thin piece of pad here that sticks and go and place that on there now so it's secure. So I'm going to take the little blue sticky tape off again, which it's actually the hardest part of all this, guys. The blue sticky tape is just really fastened on there pretty good, and if you're not careful you end up pulling the whole thing off of the sticky side. So what we're going to be doing here is I guess first things first, what we can do is just take the yellow bit off, and we're going to be sticking that side up onto the fan itself. Again, it's the hardest part. Here we go. So you got the sticky part there. We're just going to stick that right on top of there. I'm just going to adhere that, and then we're going to peel that little blue part off as well, which again is the hardest part of all of this. So what I plan to do is, once we get this thing installed, I'm gonna basically get an image on this, and yeah, the thing will be portable. It's like hyperspin, but you can basically carry it with you, and that is the advantage here. So there is a slight difference in setting all this up. You are using Retropie after all, and Raspberry Pi runs on a different OS essentially, so it's not quite the same, but it's got the same look and feel. Still pulling this thing off. Here we go. And what we're going to be doing here is, since we are moving this fan back a little bit, I'm keeping the wires over here because I've already kind of pre-measured if I wrap around this, it will be kind of a tight fit because the fans will be, closer to this location, and I don't think it's going to stretch from what I can see here, because the screws are going to be, towards this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around, and we are going to place it just right there. It's going to fit just around those pins. And there we go. So everything is right on there. It fits right in between the heat sink there and right up against the pins themselves. And now what we're going to be doing is we're just going to unscrew these 4 pins on each side, and we're going to move these over. So double checking to see if you guys can see here, but I'm going to quickly try to do this. And the reason why we've got to do this is because when we close the fan, or the case here, the case actually runs up on the fan themselves, so you're not able to close it. And this was a hack from ETA Prime, I believe. So what we're doing is we are just moving those 2 screws here to that piece there. So the base itself is not moving, but the fan is moving out a little bit. So I'm going to screw that back in. So we got one in. Let's get the other. Alright, so as you guys can see, all we've done here is move that fan back, and we're going to be doing the same to the other one. And let's go ahead and do that. Just unscrewing the 4 screws here on the fan. So you will have 4 screws that you won't be using anymore. Not a big deal there. Alright, so we are moving this back. And we're going to screw those 2 back in. Alright, so now all we've got to do left on the fan bit is plug this in. So we want to make sure that the red wire is on the right side. So it's the plus is red and the black is negative. We're just going to stick that onto the fan prongs here. So there you go. Everything is there. And now what we've got to do is just secure the board itself. So the kit came with a few screws here, and what we're going to be doing is just putting them in these 3 holes there, making the L. And these are the screws. We're going to be using the black ones. And then the silver ones are going to be on the back side of it all. So there's 1, there's 2, and there is 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and secure the board here. So the deluxe version of the SNES case comes with a nice little screwdriver, so that helps. And let's get the 3rd one in here. Alright, so there you go. So we've got the 3 screws there, 1, 2, and then 3. Alright, now that we've got the screws in, all we've got to do is close this up. So everything's nice and tidy in here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this because all we've got to do is put the screws in on the back. But before we do, there's a safe shutoff switch. You want to switch that to on because you know, you're going to be turning this on and off like, you know, the consoles, right? So what we've got to do is download the script that's provided in the instructions of the Retroflag, and I'll be showing how I do that when that comes. So this is looking really good. So all we've got to do is put the screws in here. I've already put some of those pads on there. You're going to be putting those screws in the bottom there, and you're going to be putting those pads right over the top there, so it looks pretty seamless. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And something that I forgot to mention is the deluxe case comes with a controller, which I did not show that earlier. It's kind of hidden in a compartment, and that is why you know, I didn't show you. I got excited and I just started going to town on this thing. So we got 3 of the 4 in. So really, there wasn't a lot of effort putting this together, guys. This was surprisingly easy, and I can definitely see why it's so popular. So all we've got to do left is get an image on the SD card, and then this thing's up and running essentially. So these little black pads just go right over the top there. And how I was doing this is I just pushed right in there and then it came right out. You got to take the... Alright, once you got the peel off, you just stick it right on there. It's right in the groove, really nice. And there you have it, guys. Unbelievable. So we've got a couple USB ports and then an Ethernet port on there as well. And this little piece just fits right back in there. And yeah, let's see here. Might be good if it was actually turned the right way here. Just fits right on there. Pretty cool. So there you go. Power on, power off, and that's it, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a tutorial on that a little later, getting that image on there. And here is the controller. It's tucked away underneath, and you can see it comes with a fan there as well. We don't need that because we are using a cooler itself. Let's take a look at this controller. Now there's been a lot of good reviews on these things. Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah, that feels like the real thing. Yeah, so that is it, guys, and you just plug this thing right in there and you're ready to go. You know, we also have the power cord here, which you're just going to plug in the, I think this is the spot here. Yep. There's the HDMI, so that is to finish the deal here. We've got the HDMI cord here, just making sure everything is fitting nice and secure. Yep. That is pretty cool, guys. So that is setting up the Retroflag NES Classic Retropie, and we will catch you next time.